So this morning I just finished part 3 of my multi-part series breaking down the role iron, specifically iron overload or iron mismanagement in the body, has with inflammation and the progression of chronic disease. It's called iron, the inflammation accelerant. We touch on biochemistry and the specifics of reactive oxygen species and how those specific ROS react when iron is in an environment. We talk about how reliant mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells, is on iron, and why the power iron has with mitochondria can actually turn into a bad thing when we don't have the correct checks and balances in place. We talk about why beta cells, who are very mitochondrial dense, have a lot of vulnerabilities in their natural defenses when it comes to handling the ROS that their mitochondria make. And then we go into the history of the connections between iron disorders and diabetes. It's been around for centuries. And how iron overload or primary hemochromatosis isn't quite as black and white as the clinical side of things would have us believe. And the fact that all of today's chronic inflammatory conditions mirror a lot of the symptoms we would suspect in those overloaded with iron. Beta cells are in a league of their own in terms of the metabolic demands that they place. They are incredibly metabolically active, mitochondria rich, thus iron rich, and they also have incredibly low antioxidant capabilities. But why would such an important cell be left so vulnerable? When you take a systems approach to how our body handles inflammation from both a detox standpoint as well as a rebuilding effort in a well-orchestrated system in which beta cells are naturally supported by the abilities of the liver, the stomach, the immune system, the gallbladder, they don't need to be resilient. They live in the shadow of protective neighbors. And the only real issue comes about when their neighbors can't do their job. And so with this outlook, we get to see diabetes not as a beta cell issue that begets all of the things that we associate with diabetes. It's the last domino to fall, the last compensatory failure of a system designed to protect the beta cell at all costs. And in this article, we explore how that comes to be. And with this knowledge, we can then start to peel back the layers of those compensations so that we can get to the base level needs of what all of the systems require in order to help restabilize the beta cells. Head to my personal site to read the article, and while you're there, read part 1 and part 2 as well.